For the Kandinsky vocabulary, you need to put all your vocabulary terms and an image for each in PDF in Illustrator. So we're going to take a new file in Illustrator, and I'm going to show you how to apply the rectangle grid and how to make sure your text boxes don't make the grid disappear. So you're going to go with Open up Illustrator, go to File, New. You're going to title it Vocabulary and your name. And make sure that the size is letter. You need to have it portrait. Make sure you change this to inches. And we're changing it to RGB. And click OK. Remember, you always want to start with your rulers and your grids. So you want to go to View Rulers, Show Rulers, View Show Grid. It just makes it easier to line up things. And now, over in your toolbox, behind the line tool, you'll find several different kinds, and one of these is the rectangle grid. So we're going to click on the rectangle grid, and just like with our shapes, when you could just click and drag and it's going to use whatever grid you had preset last time, but this is way too many. The directions say we want a 3 by 2 grid. That means 3 boxes across and 2 boxes down. So you can set this up in the rectangular grid by clicking on the artboard. We want the default size, that's the entire size of your grid when you're finished, to be able to fit on your artboard, which is 8.5 by 11. So we're going to make it 8 inches wide and 10 inches tall. And then there's horizontal dividers and vertical dividers. This doesn't mean the number of boxes you want to cross. This means how much you want to divide the space. So since we want 2 rows, we only want 1 horizontal divider, and since we want 3 columns, we want 2 vertical dividers, and it looks like something like this. Now you want to use your select tool and drag it over so it's pretty much centered. This is again where your grid comes in handy, and I could change this to any color I want. Green's always a good color. Now you can change the stroke too, but don't make it so wide that you run out of space. Now there's 6 boxes here. We have 15 vocabulary words, so they're not all going to fit on this one sheet. So we're going to do one, we're going to save it, and then we're going to do the next one, and we're going to end up with 3 total. So the first term we have is abstract art, and if you go and select the type tool, you're going to create a text box because you want your vocabulary to stay within this box here. If I just clicked on the artboard with type tool and started typing, it'd be all over the place and I'd have to worry about returns. But if we create a text box, then we can keep our text in here without any problem. I'm going to go ahead and choose a more interesting font than Myriad Pro. If I click here, it's going to show the names of the fonts, but if I go to type font, it's going to show me all the different fonts that I have. So I'm going to find something a little bit more interesting, something that's still easy to read, but maybe a little bit more fun. So how about Pinafore is always a good one. So my first term is abstract art. And I can actually zoom in so I can see better what I'm doing. This font tends to run a little bit small, so I can make it a little bit larger and still fit within my area here. I don't have a bold, so if I wanted to know the definition of abstract art, I'm going to go to the terms in Blackboard, and I can copy and paste it. So So you didn't see that, but I was able to copy and paste it from another area. So abstract art is artwork where objects have been changed or modified so they no longer look realistic. Now I can move my text box so it fills the space a little bit better. Now abstract art's kind of a difficult thing to just create here using the tools, but I could go into my symbols and look for some interesting, in fact I think there actually is some abstract art. Let's look into, what was it? Not Mad Science. Not that one. Ones. There we go. And right here in symbols, I have an example of art that looks a little bit abstract. Okay, so now I can go ahead and continue with the rest of my definitions. Just one thing you want to be careful of: if you do take the type tool and you get anywhere near one of these and accidentally click on one of these lines, the program is going to think that you want this to be used as a text box. So if you do have the type tool and you click on one of these lines and it goes away, that means it's because it's setting this whole thing up to be a text box, which is something you do not want. So you need to make sure that you keep your text boxes within your grid. Zoom in so you can see it. Makes it a lot easier. So when I finish filling out this whole thing, I'm going to save it because I need more than just 6 spaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I will name this Vocabulary 1. I'm going to, this is going to look more like this. I'm going to choose the desktop to save it to, and I'm going to make it a PDF because I'm going to upload it to my content in content collection in Blackboard. And I would go ahead and click Save. So that's the way you get your vocabulary sheets ready. If you have any questions, please let me know. Good luck.